it becomes really critical that you're able to move the development path from a science experiment eventually to a clinic. So this partnership is critical for that, because what you want to make sure is that Cellipont, in this case, the CDMO, is able to manufacture your product to the specifications which you have been using.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us today for another Virtual Investor What This Means segment. My name is Janine Thomas. I am CEO of JTCIR, and I will be the moderator. Today, we are featuring Ernexa Therapeutics, and I am very pleased to be joined by Sanjeev Luther. He is President and CEO of Ernexa. Welcome, Sanjeev.
Good morning. Thank you, Janine. So happy to be here.
Before we get started, I just want to remind our audience that Ernexa is publicly listed on NASDAQ and trades under the ticker ERNA. And during today's discussion, the company will be making forward-looking statements, and I encourage everyone to view the company's latest SEC filings on their website at ernexatx.com for the latest information. All right, Sanjeev, we are going to get started and dive right in. So your partnership with Cellipont marks a major step for Ernexa. Can you explain why this collaboration is so important at this stage of ERNA 101's development, and what Cellipont brings to the table that advances the program towards the clinic?
For any company which is developing therapeutics, especially a company like ours, which is developing stem cells, it becomes really critical that you're able to move the development path from a science experiment eventually to a clinic. So this partnership is critical for that, because what you want to make sure is that Cellipont, in this case, the CDMO, is able to manufacture your product to the specifications which you have been using, from a research grade product to a clinical grade product. And the company spends significant amount of time looking at many partners, not just Cellipont. And based on their capability of moving into commercial manufacturing, as they have been doing for other companies, it became evident that they probably would be a good partner, probably one of the better partners for a company of our size and company where we are in terms of development. So this partnership is critical for the success of this company.
So Sanjeev, you describe ERNA 101 as a first-of-its-kind synthetic IMSC therapy. How does this collaboration validate Ernexa's IMSC platform and its broader potential beyond ovarian cancer?
This is a very broad question, so let's go one step at a time here. So the first thing, from concept to clinic grade. So it's very, as I pointed out previously, that it's very important that when you're moving from a research grade to now a clinical grade, right? So transferring your, so as you probably understand, our technology starts with iPSCs first, the pluripotent stem cells, and then we convert them to mesenchymal stem cells. So transferring of that iPSCs to IMSCs engineering, and then release assays into a top-tier GMP facility environment demonstrated the platform is manufacturable, controllable, and is clinical ready, not just a lab achievement. So that is the first thing which needs to happen here. The second thing which happens here is what we call in our business CQAs, which means critical quality attributes, plus potency locked in. So joint analytical development defines and validates critical quality attributes which are required from regulatory point of view. So attributes and potency methods for IMSCs. And once established, this testing toolkit can be reused across future IMSCs, payloads and indications. So not just limited to this indication, but you can then, once it's done, you can continue to expand to other indications. And we'll get into that a little bit later. And the next is scalable. I think one of the things we didn't get into it is that our platform is allogeneic platform. So it's not a autologous, which is the current platform. It's allogenic, which is usually easier. It's based on single clone, as you know, single donor. So the playbook is slightly different for allogenic business. And that's why we keep saying it's first of its kind. So building a standardized batch-based allogenic process with tech transfer documentation creates a replicable blueprint. So the idea is once you do it once, you can continue to replicate your batches, right? So shortening timelines for the next IMSC program as you move forward. So once we are done with this program, you now have a blueprint in place. You can continue to replicate it for other indications. So that's the idea behind this. And then comes the regulatory credibility, very important. So a CDMO with a late-stage commercial cell therapy, which was important for us, that we wanted to partner with somebody who has the ability to do commercial-grade product, not just a first in human trial, but as we move forward through our journey. So here's a company, Cellipont, which not just can do our first in human, but will also be able to actually take us to the CMC part in terms of commercial optimization process and so on and so on. And finally, the idea always is and one of our key strategies is to find a co-development partner. So once you're able to do that, that co-development partner, in most cases, being a large pharmaceutical company or somebody like that, wants to know, have you validated all your processes? So this partnership with Cellipont would also help us get to the end game, which is find a co-development partner to move these indications into broader patient population, not just in the US, but outside the US. So the bottom line is this partnership converts the IMSC platform from a promising science into a repeatable GMP-proven product engine. I mean, that's what every company wants to do, right? Accelerating ERNA 101 now and smoothing path for the pipeline that follows it. Now, you also asked me about the broader potential beyond ovarian cancer, and I think I've a little bit touched upon that in my previous points. So 101 leverages a very simple thing. 101 leverages MSC's tumor homing ability to deliver pro-inflammatory cytokines, right? So that sets us apart from other. So it's not just iPSC to IMSCs, but then those IMSCs carry cytokines, and these cytokines, especially IL-7 and 15, which in our case we have fused these two products together as one entity. They are pro-inflammatory products, so they're they're given directly to the tumor, enhancing T cells and anti-tumor activity while minimizing systemic toxicity, right? So that's the key behind it. So our initial focus is to develop ERNA 101 in platinum-resistant ovarian cancer population because it has demonstrated preliminary pharmacodynamics and effects and efficacy in that particular model. And also, people always say, why platinum-resistant? Well, there are a couple of reasons. One, the huge significant unmet need. PD-1s don't quite very well work there. Secondly is that at some point, every patient becomes platinum-resistant. So it's a significant unmet need. It's a larger patient population, and that's where we started at least. But however, we believe that our 101 mechanism of action is not restricted to ovarian cancer only, but it has potential to exhibit broad spectrum of efficacy in other solid tumors like triple-negative breast cancer and so on and so forth, which will be something for the future we end up doing. So in the future, we have a plan for 101 as a monotherapy as well as in combination with adoptive cell therapies like the CAR cells, the PD-1s, the CAR Ts, the TILs, the T cells. So it gives you an idea that it's not just one trick pony. The idea is to expand it beyond ovarian, but also in ovarian to continue to increase the efficacy and provide that significant unmet need or overcome that significant unmet need by combining with other products as we move forward.
Sanjeev, can you describe the key steps that this partnership enables as you move from preclinical work into clinical manufacturing in human trials?
So far what we have done is proof of principle, right? I always use the terminology proof of principle, proof of concept. Now we are in the stage of moving into proof of concept, which means clinical study, not a preclinical study, but a clinical study in humans, not in mice, right? So this partnership helps us to get to that end game of getting into the first in human trial. So that's the main reason to be on this partnership.
So, Sanjeev, certainly an exciting time for the company. So, for people that are following Ernexa, what are the next major milestones we should be watching out for related to ERNA 101's progress towards the clinic?
The most, in terms of importance, next would be the pre-IND meeting with the FDA, which we hope to hear into the quarter as we get into this quarter. And the next would be IND submission. And then the next would be the first in human trial in 2026. And followed by, in 2020, early 2027, the phase 2 program for the company.
Sanjeev, can't wait to have you back on our platform for an update on your progress. And this does conclude Ernexa's What This Means segment. I'd like to thank Sanjeev for joining us today. And I'd also like to thank our audience for your time and attention. If you like what you saw today, I encourage you to visit Ernexa's website at ernexatx.com and follow their social channels to stay up to date on the latest information from the company. And as a reminder, to access all the virtual investor events, visit virtualinvestorco.com. I'd like to thank everyone for joining and wishing you a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Janine.